Hi guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll look into a scenario in which Saudi Arabia forms an empire. But before we get into the empire part, let's talk about the statistics. Well, the population of Saudi Arabia is 35,354,380, with an available manpower of 18 million, with fit for service only being 16.9 million, and the military, reaching military annually age, 601,000. There's a total military active personnel, 350. And there's 225 active personnel, total military, paramilitary of 125,000, Air Force of 20,000, and the Army of 75,000, and the Navy has 13,000 personnel. And let's go to GDP. It has a GDP of 833 billion USD, a purchasing power of 1.5 trillion USD, a foreign exchange of 496 billion USD, defense budget of 46 billion USD, and a debt of 205 billion USD. And that's its statistics. So that's why it's such a strong nation. That gives it a lot of money, gives it easy expansion, and its military is big. Plus, it can also easily expand their military because they have so many people they can have because they have a big fit for service and a big maximum personnel. So, yeah, let's get into the video to start conscripting people into the military. And they quickly invade Yemen. Yemen is their first target. Not really a big surprise. They're going to be invading south, which they make an advance here to cut off the major cities of Yemen and the major population area. They take this over, so they have most of the population. Now they move into the resource-rich areas. Although if I look at their major trading partner, I would say I believe it's China. And they also import a lot of coal. And this is pretty similar to the other colors. So I decided to use green because that's what we did the last time we made a Saudi Empire. Just because it looks nice for a change. And that's just what it really is. And if there's success in taking over Yemen, a lot of people go to get put in the military. They're trying to get to 1 million armed forces or 2 million, but they're not going to go get 60 million because they'll stall out the economy. They conscript the maximum number they can. They declare war on Oman. Also, alliances have been disbanded except one. These nations made an alliance called the Persian Defense Pact to go against Saudi. But that was a secret pact and nobody knew about it until they all united once Saudi invaded Yemen. But luckily for Saudi, they knew this would probably happen, and they had troops stationed around these countries because they were planning on invading them in the future. And they could easily move troops. Before they made much of an advance, they started attacking, but Saudi was ready. And let's see what they do now. Oh, it's full annexation, as they've done phase 1 of their Imperial plans. The takeover of Arabia. Now their next goal is to take over the Middle East. They want to take over Anatolia from Turkey. There'll be a bit of a distance till then, with Saudi Arabia starting the war as they declare war on Jordan, Palestine, and Israel. That very odd sides. Anyways, Saudi Arabia did it. And they call this the War of the Dysfunctional Coalition. Because Saudi declared war on all of them at once. Because Saudi probably is trying to get to 2 million troops now, or 3 million, because they know they'll have to face Turkey or Iran soon. Iraq. Real intervention is made. With Iran sending in a group of what they call peacekeeping troops. With Turkey doing the same thing to the north, sending in so-called peacekeeping forces. With Saudi finishing them off. Let's see how the peace treaty goes, honestly. and north because Iran will come to the defense. I didn't get rid of all packs. I got rid of major packs like NATO, the UN, and those kinds of packs. Ones that could actually do damage. With Egypt having allies, made an alliance with Eritrea, Sudan, and Libya. Is going to help? Probably not much. With Saudi coming up with a master plan, they asked South Sudan and Ethiopia to join. Of course, that means less land, but they're not looking for all of this land. With the city of Cairo falling, but this is not a big deal. As long as the Nile doesn't fall, it's okay for Egypt. With Ethiopia starting some advances into Eritrea, a few over the border into Sudan. Not like big advances because that would take a while. But it starts to get bigger and quicker the advance becomes. But they're trying to keep it like a stable front, which if you keep the front stable, it's easier to fight for the land. With them actually succeeding and taking quite a bit of land. With the Saudi army ready to attack more of Egypt, they move down the Mediterranean coast. At this point, they've blocked off the Suez Canal to Sudan, Eritrea, Egypt, and Libya. And they take a major city from Libya. I believe they have a major city up here, not the capital, that's further away. But them starting to fly down into Egypt. With Ethiopia finally taking Eritrea out, but the fighting has more so shifted down here. With this shift, not much has changed, besides this fact that more and more of Sudan is falling. And with the coast of Egypt being significant to be fallen, and the Nile area, they moved down Sudan's Nile area. With Sudan capitulating, Egypt capitulating, but Libya keeps fighting for no reason. And they fall. Let's see how Saudi does this peace treaty. Libya and Sudan. But now Turkey, Iran, and allies team up because they don't like Saudi's expansion. But little do they know, they're going to fail. They got a big team, but they don't realize something bad is going to happen. With them quickly marching to the Suez Canal in enemy territory, they do make it to the Suez Canal. They'll move slightly down the coast as they start an advance from Iraq and Iran, which takes over Kuwait and starts moving into resource-rich areas. But at this point, Saudi Arabia is ready, which means they get kicked away from the Suez Canal. Not all the way back. They get kicked away from parts of Saudi. But they make another advance, which they go down here. But they think, oh, we're going to win. But then Saudi comes up with a master plan. How is this a master plan? Well, you may think, that doesn't look anything special. They then go into enemy territory. They do this, which allows them to completely capture this land. As they continue this advance, they don't realize what they're doing and think it's pretty flawed. Turkey trying to hold them back. It's pushed up to here. They now move down here. A lot of troops do manage to escape through the water because there's actually water there, and ocean water. But at this point, they're trying to hold that front, which makes the front line longer, so they have to strategically. Saudi Arabia knows they have a big front line, which the bigger the front line, the harder to hold. Also, it's hard to supply narrow areas, so they need to widen this front. As they move up into Iraq, the puppet, and Turkish territory. With Iran and Turkey seeing the true power of them, and Iran is not really thinking they'd make a spearhead to Iran, which they weren't thinking, really. They were thinking of holding the front. They lose their capital city. The people revolt, and they eventually collapse in on themselves. But With Turkey realizing the goal of Saudi being to take all of Anatolia, they mean they won't surrender. They basically will probably become Thrace, which probably will make better relations with Greece and Bulgaria, with them eventually forcing this new people's government to join them. Basically, they annex Iran. They become a mighty empire throughout the Middle East with very little puppets, except in Africa where they have all their puppets. And then, to make the empire look nice, they annex Cyprus, because why not? Now, this being a global threat, this big of an empire, but yeah, let's see what the empire looks like directly. And let's see how they do their states. They've got Arabia. They've got the Arabian state, which would be somewhere around here. And then making a Mesopotamian state, a Persian state, an Anatolian state, an Egyptian, which will be here, and a Libyan state. Basically, they divided themselves into 5 major states. All these states are broken up more, but that's it. So basically now, that's all for today's video. Please like and subscribe. We need to get 130 subscribers in 5 days, because our goal is that by January 1st, and also starting in January, there won't be Wednesday uploads, but that's it. But that's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Bye, guys!